What's going on, guys? Welcome to the Essential Scares podcast. We are back for 2023 after a little break, and we're very excited to hang out with you guys. I am your host, Corbin, and with me today, as always, we've got Alan.
Good evening.
And Bobby.
I can't believe he's brought it back already.
It's gotta come back, baby.
That should have been a New Year's resolution for you, honestly, was to not say that.
That's fairly accurate. But
And he failed immediately.
yeah, I've already made the mistake. So here we are.
Oh, well, we have got quite a show for you today. 2 out of 3 of us are very, very excited. We're going to be kicking off the new year with the discussion on the old franchise, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the remakes, with Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the beginning. But first, Bobby has a spoiler warning.
I do. If you do not want this movie spoiled for you, please skip to the time code in our. Please skip to the time code provided in our show notes or thing for our essential spoiler-free discussion. Really blew that one out of the water this time.
10 out of 10.
Yeah. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the beginning, is pointless. Alan.
What do you mean? You don't want to find out the lore and the origins of Leatherface as a baby being born and put into a butcher's paper and then dumped to be picked up by the Hewitts, your favorite name for this family? That totally doesn't change every time they reboot the franchise. What are you talking about? That doesn't exist, Bobby. Stop talking to yourself. And then as time goes on, his craziness was contained by just butchering animals ruthlessly and very much so not up to health codes, to only then be released upon the world when it inevitably gets shut down because it's Texas in the middle of nowhere with no real economy to support it. So then naturally, when these war boys that are trying to go to war in Vietnam show up and cause all sorts of ruckus, he just has to take them out and take care of business. So let's begin from there.
This movie has an anti-Iraq, it has like a pro-Iraq war message, and it's real weird about it. Yeah. Did you notice how they make the draft dodging bit like a bad thing? That's kind of odd considering that we were in the midst of one unjust war when this movie came out, and the movie takes place during the last unjust war that we had. You know, real weird how that happens.
I didn't even remotely think of that.
Yeah, you know
Me
what?
neither.
Yeah, it does.
And
I don't think it does.
People have always been. I mean, draft dodging has always been considered a negative thing. I think, yeah.
Especially because, like, realistically, the last time draft dodging was even a thing in this country was the Vietnam War. Like it.
Yeah.
I did not read that as. I mean, I think anytime you bring up the Vietnam War in any general sense, you're always going to have the anti-war side that just comes as a part of that because that was huge in that time period.
Yeah, but there is no anti-war side to this. Like it's very
a little bit, you know, because they isn't there like a subplot about how the not sheriff
it became a cannibal
is a vet
yeah.
And that was so that's the anti-war message, right?
Don't go to war, you'll become a cannibal.
Germans? Yes. Is that the implication or the Japanese?
Koreans, I think, right?
Oh, okay.
I thought it was that they ate their comrades more so than the enemy. Well, enemy.
Yeah, because they were like POWs.
POWs,
so,
yeah,
they ate each other.
Yeah, it was,
but either way, I thought it was
a stick.
I thought it was Korean War, but
whatever.
That
I guess it could have been World War II. Yeah, it was late 60s. So, yeah.
No, yeah, that's fair.
How old is he supposed to be? I guess, right? Yeah.
But
anyway,
and just a hard R word, just right off the top there too. Just like, he's not retarded. He's just misunderstood. It's like, what the hell?
What
What
he's
is
a dumpster
that?
baby. He's literally a dumpster baby.
What is that?
Anything could have happened to him.
Listen. As our token neurodivergent, not a good use of your R word, champs.
Well, there wasn't a limit on that back in 2006. Like, you can say it as many times as you wanted.
And then there really wasn't a limit in the 70s.
Yeah.
Are you my bullies in 2006, Corbin?
Well, what would have been 14? I mean, maybe.
We can say it as much as we want, Bobby. It's 2006. Please stop. No.
Oh my good God.
Oh Christ.
So my favorite part about this whole movie, maybe not my number one favorite part, but one of my favorite parts is a throwback to a few episodes ago when the very beginning of the movie starts and they tell you when this movie takes place.
Yeah.
And they say it was a couple years before the other movie.
A few years.
Yeah, no, a few years ago.
Before
That was very funny
Olivia
to me.
Wilde showed up.
It's
Oh man.
I don't know what it is about those messages that we just find so damn funny, but it just works
It's just-
for us, I guess.
It's just
Because-
amusing, yeah.
It's don't worry, guys. It's a prequel. None of this matters.
That's so. I want to actually get into one of the things that I hated the most about this film, kind of right off the
Okay.
top. So we're near the. I'm gonna just go right to the end because the plot of this movie realistically doesn't matter because, like Bobby said, it's a prequel to a movie that's already out. So like, there's only so much stakes.
Yeah, they're not gonna get caught or escape in the end.
But
Yeah.
see, they had an opportunity to have the final girl be the girl at the beginning of the 2003 film, but they just didn't take that.
Yeah,
And I think
because
that
they
would have been
probably
like a
couldn't get the
cool way to
actress.
connect it. Well, what the fuck
Yeah.
ever? Who cares? It could be a different actress. She's all like, she's been dragged around by these people for a while. She's all
I do
decrepit. Like,
agree
they could have
that-
made it work.
The actress does not matter. I mean, all
No.
it would have had to do was just end, But I think they wanted it to be further in the past because they try to make it seem like this is the beginning of their reign of terror.
Yeah.
And then the other movie is the end, right? So if they take place
How
back to
long is
back,
their
it's
reign of
like
terror?
a few years.
Yeah. Duh, dude.
Got me.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
man.
So how do we feel about Leatherface in this one? Let's talk Big Boy. Do we
This
like him
movie-
more, worse? What do we think?
This movie is what 11-year-old me thought that the 2003 movie was.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Absolutely. This movie is
Yeah.
just violence for the sake of violent. And I love
Yeah.
that. I can appreciate a movie
Yeah.
that's like, you know what? We don't care. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter. We're just going to be gory. We're going to be ridiculous. We're going to
Yep.
chop a biker in quarter because we can. We're going to kill two people kind of the same way, but it's with a chainsaw and you don't see that often. So like, deal with it. Like it just... I
My
love
favorite
it.
part was how they didn't even try to justify the use of a chainsaw as the killer weapon.
No.
They were like, yeah, he's going to kill him with a chainsaw because it's Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's Leatherface. Of course it's the chainsaw. Like, it's like
Yeah,
so meta.
the-
Like, the movie doesn't
the
care
one-
at all.
Well, that's my favorite bit. It's because like they're throwing you these like dumb ass bits of little Texas Chainsaw lore, and then just go, yeah, he just picked up a chainsaw, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, well, fuck
Guys,
it.
it's the
We're
beginning.
done. We give a you don't care. Watch him cut people
Yeah.
in half. Fuck you.
You don't
Like,
care. We don't care. Here's the chainsaw.
We know what you want. Here it is. Okay,
Yeah.
enjoy.
and I was fine with it.
Absolutely.
I hated it. I hated it so fucking much.
So
like, I came
Go
into
ahead.
this movie incredibly biased because, again, an unneeded prequel is incredibly stupid, and then they just didn't do anything at any point that made me go, okay, that's fine. Like, it was more mean spirited than the last one.
yeah,
don't
but this
mind a
time it was in
mean-spirited
like
movie.
a fun way. Like, yeah, I liked it.
I don't know, man. What did you guys like about it? What did you like?
I like
So
that
let
the
me
movie really. Go ahead, Corbin. You were about to go off.
Oh, I was just gonna say that I liked everything that Bobby didn't like about this movie. Like, this is just one of those movies that we're like, it's a bad movie, and it's just like big and dumb and stupid mid 2000s slasher, and we're just biased for and against this movie in like the exact same but opposite ways.
I wouldn't say that because If you're
I don't
if
know.
you're saying you enjoyed this movie but it's objectively
Yeah.
terrible, I can buy into. There are parts of this movie that made me go,
I never said this movie was good. I just said I
Okay.
liked it.
but like there's just a lot of bits of this movie that like a lot of really good bad movies move faster than this, which I think is what actually really bothers me about this movie. This movie's like weird, like it is not a quick 90 minutes. It is like there's just so much. It's like it did not learn that like watching people just stand there or run away is not fun or interesting. That the original Texas
Well,
Chainsaw
I mean,
2003 had.
there's only like 8 people in the cast. Like how fast could they possibly get killed? Right? I mean, you're gonna run out of time.
Run out of bodies.
Okay, then make more
Problem.
people in the cast, dude.
That's
I don't
how
know
you. That's how you get Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2022. That's how
I
you
was
get
wondering
there.
when it was going to come up.
Okay, be a better movie then. I don't know what to fucking tell you, dude. Like,
It's just not possible.
this franchise, I feel like the biggest problem with this franchise is its like theoretical cap for these types of films is so incredibly low. Like, how good realistically can this movie actually be if they put in like all sorts of effort and really tried? Like, I don't think that this film can.
The thing is, it's like
get there.
They did it. They did it. The first one.
Yeah.
That's as good as this franchise could ever be.
Yeah.
It could never be better than that.
Yeah.
And even Toby Hooper knew that. That's why the second one was the way it was.
Yeah.
So like
it's a very different movie and it's very good. But yeah, it's like what the fuck is even the point of pretending that we should keep making these movies? We shouldn't. Please let the Sawyers die. Jesus Christ.
The Hewitts, Bobby. Thank you.
Come on, Bobby. There's nobody named Sawyer in this movie. It's not Lost, okay?
Let the Slaughters die. You're right. I'm sorry.
You're just out. Corbin is just hitting us with all these early 2000s jokes. I'm in
my zone here. This is my
I hate it so much.
Oh boy. So how did we feel about the biker gang? Easily the worst part of the whole movie, right?
Yeah.
So unnecessary. I was waiting for it to make sense, and it just never did.
Yeah. That they're just mean and like for no reason.
Yeah.
And then only 2 of them get killed. Like, there's your supply of bodies. Like, where's the other guy? Where's the rest of those guys?
That's what I'm saying. Have them all go in like afterwards, been like, "Where's our friends? And then he just fucking just vaporizes like. And you can even have not cop like do awful shit too, like
Hoyt,
like,
I think his name is.
Sure,
That sounds right. I'll give it to you.
Yeah. I think his name is Earl in the beginning because like Earl's dead, ma, or some shit like that. Like,
yeah, because it becomes Hoyt.
Oh, you know what?
That's
There is a really good scene in this movie. It is the scene where the mom and the fat lady from the first movie are just sitting at the table and they're like, you know what's good? Iced tea. And then underneath it is just a woman like 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 it's I really like chocolates. Like
that sequence is like it's again, every horror movie always has like that one scene. And that's what this movie had. It's just
it was funny.
It just kind of works because it is if there's any scary bit in this film, that's it. Because it's like the idea of these women just like having a nonchalant Sunday afternoon talk, and there's just this chained up woman whose mouth has been destroyed at this point. Like it works.
How does she
and
die
then it
again?
becomes silly again. She gets her throat slit at the very end of the film.
Oh yeah.
With a pair of kitchen shears.
Yeah, for no reason. Yep.
It just happens. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, there's a couple moments in this movie that has some like there's some like real like nice moments of like tragedy or pathos, right? Like the scene where the older brother, it's like in between where he gets chainsawed and after he gets tortured.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and he's like sitting there, and his hands all fucking like cut open. It's a super gross scene, and his girlfriend's trying to save him. And he's like, "I can't feel it. I can't feel it. Did he cut it off? Did he cut it off?" And that's like a moment of like bone. It's like just chilling, eerie moment, and then immediately gets just fucked with it with like him just getting bisected with the chainsaw. It's like that was stupid. What it and you just see like the weird like fake fat like shit get like with the chainsaw. I was like, this is not a good chainsaw kill. This is but like that moment before it's really good, and then when like the younger brother beats the fuck out of Hoyt after like. That's a great little moment. It's a great little homage back to when he was doing the push-ups and all that shit. But then he gets immediately killed by Leatherface not 5 minutes later. And it's like stupid, waste of time.
See, I actually want to go back to that push-up scene because I think that is my scene of your example there of just like, oh, this is good. Like, work for it. I'm a man of my word, son. Take your way. And he beats the fuck out of this kid. I mean, just it's ridiculous what he does to him. But then he can get away, but then he doesn't because he also spends like a long chunk of the movie just hobbling around for a while there because he got the shit kicked out of him.
Yeah, he's injured.
Again, this movie does so much of just bullshit nothing. Like,
but when it decides to kill people, it's real fun.
Well, actually, this is what I would say is this movie really suffers from being a prequel sequel. Right, because if this was the first Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie, except the only thing that they would have to change is like all of like the beginning stuff. But like if you drop the baby subplot and made it this gory and this like fucked up and had it where at the very end Olivia Wilde or whoever this actress is actually gets out. That would have
Jessica
been
Biel, yeah.
whatever. They're Jessica Biel, Olivia Wilde. They're the same. They're very different, but they became a thing at the same time, and I will never be able to differentiate them ever. Deal with it, nerds. Anyway, Jessica or whoever gets away, like because this movie earns the amount of like this movie is so much more in bad taste that you do want to see some sort of like release, and the fact that you don't get it is makes this movie very boring, and the fact that you're never going to get it makes like the shocker twist at the end even more like duh. Of course, how do you get in the backseat of the car? I don't know. Who gives a shit? Right? This movie's stupid.
See, but that's just that plays into the whole. This is just a dumb schlocky horror film. Of course, he's in the back of the car and he's got a chainsaw.
Yeah, that he can like, and it's the same chainsaw, so it's not a small one.
No,
it's not like the guy
he just holds it. He holds it close to him. Yeah,
it's his baby, much like him. He cradles it in butcher paper,
that
and he's
he
ready
can
to
immediately go. That he can immediately rev up and through the seat immediately.
I don't.
He's very strong. I don't understand the issue here. Have you seen the size of that guy?
Yeah, he's like 6'5", 280 pounds. He's a brick shit.
He's like two Jason Voorhees stitched together.
Yeah, but remember, guys, it did take him a while the first time to rev up that chainsaw.
That's true.
Well, that's because the chainsaw needed to get going. Yeah, now it's got blood running through it.
Yeah.
It's got he's gassed it up back at the house. Like that chainsaw's ready to go now. Yeah.
Bobby, you don't
priming a chainsaw is quiet. He could just push that button like in the back seat. You don't even notice, and then he's ready to go.
Yeah, one rip
chainsaw is quiet. Fuck you, dude. That's good.
I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, it's nice and easy. And it's good to go.
So there's a couple of things that I really liked about this movie that are very similar to the things I liked about the other one, which are pure like aesthetics. Mm-hmm. I really, really liked Leatherface's first look before he does the skin mask when he's wearing the half mask, the butcher mask. That was ideal. I think that was maybe because of the way the movie is done, but I thought it was a scarier look than the skin face, honestly.
Yeah.
And then there's a shot pretty close to the beginning when Leatherface is walking down the highway and this like blurry Texas shot, and the camera's just behind him. It's like, man, like that was such a good shot. Like that picture is what I think of when I think of these remakes. Like that, that's the style. Like these two movies are like encapsulated in that shot.
Where it's just
It's awesome.
sweaty and gross.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It just looks. It's just perfect.
Well,
Kind of-
it's the same thing with like Friday the 13th, right? The faux Jason being the most iconic Jason, like the Leatherface walking down the street in what is just a ultimately forgettable movie in a franchise of mostly forgettable and two really good movies. Like it is an iconic shot from the early 2000s, I would say. There's no fighting that. But
Now, I have a question.
I definitely have an answer.
Is the overabundance of film grain in this movie just like a 2000s slasher thing? Because it's just
it's a mix. It's a mix of things.
Heavy on this one.
It's a mix of things, right? And so first of all, right, this movie came out at a time when movies were still not yet all filmed digitally, right? A lot more films were filmed on film, and movies that are shot on film have grain, right? This is just a fact. And especially movies that are shot cheaply and quickly have a little bit more. So would I expect a movie, a slasher for the mid 2000s to have a lot of film grain? Yeah, I kind of would.
would I expect the Texas Chainsaw Massacre at the beginning to have a lot of film grain? Shockingly, more than what it has.
Yeah, I'm surprised there's as little as there is.
I was expecting 90 to 95% grain.
Just all grain. All you just kind of like, I think that's a chainsaw in there somewhere.
Is that a boob? I think that's a boob.
Because I mean, like, when did this movie came out? 2006, right?
2006.
The first movie to be shot all fully digital came out in 2002. It was Star Wars: Attack of the Clones, and like that's a very expensive movie, right? So like, that's a pretty short amount of time. So
Star Wars,
that's got to look to like the 2010s horror movies to lose that grain
for sure.
I think part of it is just like there's a lot. This movie's dark while also being outside really a lot, which is kind of like it's an interesting aesthetic that they kind of build there. Like it's dark but bright dark.
It's dark during the daytime and it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Well, it's Texas.
Well, yeah, that's
sure.
What? Yeah, it's Texas. That should be bright all the time. That's why the Texas Chainsaw Massacre was scary, because it was all during the fucking daytime.
No, this is Scary Daytime. It's from 2006.
I know. Yes, it's bad color grading. Just say it's bad color grading.
Sorry, I couldn't possibly. It's an intentional choice. It's Scary Daytime.
If we make everything green.
That's how you know you're in the future.
Yeah. Hey, look, we're close to the Mexican border, so therefore everything must be yellow.
Like this filter, let's go.
Oh my god.
It's it's weird because like the shack scene where he puts the fucking like saran wrap on the dude. Like why is that scene so dark in the middle of the daytime with a door like fully open?
Well, they're under the shack is like they're underneath.
Yeah, but he's got the big barn door open.
But they're not standing outside the door.
I know, but they show when he's walking in that the light opens up, so like it fully like they get flooded with light, and so does Hoyt.
Yeah. Bobby, they don't have ray tracing in 2006. Okay, we can't expect modern day viewings of things like.
You think this is HDR? Like,
listen. I don't call these things out. You know I don't call these things out. But like,
okay. I often do say things about this, and I didn't even notice. So that's what I'll say.
like it's egregious.
I don't know.
It's egregious. It's egregious, and you know it's egregious.
I don't. I genuinely I took notes for the whole movie. I did not write anything down about that. I'm trying to pull it out of my memory for you, and I'm having a tough time.
It's just listen. I've given okay. Listen, I've given kudos in between me just being just so angry I'm vibrating.
Yeah.
What can you guys say you definitely hate about this movie?
What I
there's
hate about this
the
movie?
plot
Yeah.
of this film means literally nothing
Yeah.
and goes nowhere. There's subplots that mean nothing.
Weak. Yeah. Weak plots, weak acting.
Yeah,
a
my
couple
God.
a couple of good shots, but otherwise generic cinematography, nothing fancy.
But see, here's the thing. Here's the thing, though. I expected all of those bad things.
They
all of them.
reused the engagement subplot. They just reuse it again.
Well, I mean, nobody's gotten married yet.
Marriage didn't exist until 1978, so they still got a few more years to go here, Bob.
I
But
just think it's very funny. It's like I'm gonna get you a ring one day. In both movies, they say something to that regard, and then both the boyfriends die.
It's a very important when
it's a
when
tale
you're
as
that
old as
age.
time.
Yeah, you're gonna get married. You're gonna pop the question. You get chainsaw through the back. Like that's just life.
Both of you, frankly. Like,
Well, no,
yeah.
he gets chainsaw.
The fact that we're all three still here is shocking and statistically improbable.
Yeah. Well,
we are the exception.
Yeah,
to the
well,
rule.
Well, as three Scream kings, we all watched Many a Girlfriend Die to Man in Mask.
It was a tragic upbringing.
Yeah, it really was tough hanging out at Camp Blood.
Oh,
but see, Bobby, here's the thing: the things I didn't expect this movie to do good, it did. And that's why I enjoyed this so much more than the first one. The first movie sets me up for this like, oh, we're gonna do it. No, we're not. We're gonna do it. No, we're not. This movie's like, hey, you want to see body parts, bud? Here you go. I just chopped them off all over the place.
To be fair,
and it's
I think
good. This is what I wanted. This is what I want out of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Nonsense.
For
and
sure.
I got nonsense.
It's in the name. It's in the name.
Yeah.
The beginning.
Yeah, the beginning of the nonsense.
No, I think the first
too
thing
bad
I
there
did
wasn't
say,
a continuation of the nonsense.
That's fair. The first thing I think I said out loud after watching this movie is like, yeah, Ellen's gonna like the gore in this, I think.
Of course I'm gonna. Are you kidding me? He cut off a leg and then he made him chop off the other one to even him out. That's hilarious.
Very funny. It was so funny.
It's so stupid.
I didn't need a reason why this guy just randomly loses his legs, but I'm glad I got the reason, frankly.
The implication was in the war. Whatever war that was.
Sure, exactly.
This is way better than lost his legs in the war.
Absolutely.
Way better. Everybody lost their legs in the war. This is very funny.
Yeah.
Why? Okay, so like he was like a whole ass pervert in the remake. Why did they just make him just kind of a normal dude in this though?
Well, because he's just now starting to eat people, and so over the course of a few years of eating people, he gets more and more perverted.
He becomes a sex pervert. Got it.
Correct.
Yeah,
that's
it comes with eating of the people.
When you lose your legs and you start to eat people, it actually is a very strange way to pervert them.
He's got nowhere to go. I mean, he's just in his own mind all the time. And then
what's he got to lose? He's already lost 2 legs.
Yeah.
Well, 2 arms for one.
That's true. He could lose his 2 arms.
And then what he would do? What would he do then?
Well, he's always got his mind.
I don't like it. I don't like this bit.
I shouldn't like this bit.
Alan, how did you feel about the part when the chainsaw is used? Without revving the chainsaw up? Blunt weapon chainsaw? I loved it. It was very funny. I wrote it down. I was like, chainsaw is a blunt weapon. I love it. It was just stupid.
That's when he's fighting the biker before he revs the chainsaw up, right?
Yeah.
Blunt. It does minor scratches, because there's still chain bits on there, but like. No, it's just what's really funny about that too is like chainsaw blades are the most flimsy things in the fucking world. So like you think through that and it's like, oh, that blade, that would have snapped in half.
Oh, that's the thing. Is like even on the biker to rev through him, it would have snapped.
Oh, absolutely.
On the first rev, you have to have the blade going before the chain going before you get like
Bobby,
all of that is like.
Bobby, you're forgetting that this is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah.
And we don't need a reason besides chainsaw.
Right.
And that's,
The
this
saw
scene
is the
it's
law.
2.
it is
Yeah.
that is correct.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I hear you guys, right? I hear you, but hear me out instead. Hear me out instead.
Okay.
I will attempt.
Okay.
Why didn't the biker fight back when he fell on the chainsaw? Like, he just sat there. Like, was Hoyt on
he's
him?
just getting...
It was not clear. It almost felt like he was just laying there. It's like, no, don't do it, no. Like,
yeah, he was in shock. I mean, he knew what was coming. I mean, he knew they were going to turn that chainsaw on, and like he's seen chainsaws before, so I mean, he knew it was all over. He knew it was all over.
Texas. He lives in Texas.
Yeah, and also, like, let's not forget, right? Like, he's staring up at Leatherface, who, as we remember, is a very large man. So, like, he knows this is not going to go well.
Oh, how could I forget? How could I forget that there's a big boy that he's afraid of the big boy?
Yeah.
My hubris, my greed.
It seems like you're just not seeing what's right in front of you here.
You're right.
But he did, and that's why he didn't.
You are missing the forest.
I through the trees, I know, and when we do see those trees, not as much as we did with Ally McBeal. That's right, I'm using a completely different name here now.
Ally McBeal, huh?
Yeah, I'm just, yeah. We've escaped other mid 2000s actresses and moved on to mid to late 90s movies. That's right.
Perfect.
But this, it's you guys are winning me over on the haha funny bits. I will tell you this.
It was just haha and funnier than the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was.
It's a movie that decided it didn't give a shit again.
Yes.
Which I think, for a remake to do this, it's really funny that they decide this early to do it.
The second entry.
Yeah.
The second entry, they're like,
after
hey,
the first one made so much money.
Yeah,
Just jump it.
it's like there's like and it's the same thing. It's like, because like Toby Hooper knew that the second one couldn't be it, but at least tried to do something fun and succeeded. Let's just be real. But like, this movie was like, you know what fucking rocks right now? Hostel. Let's just do Hostel. That, I mean, it's
also a little bit funny. I mean, like, that's just it was.
I've got beef with the Eli Roth movies,
but the movie has chuckle moments in it. There are moments that are just funny.
You talking about the famous "I Go Home" scene?
The entire third act, I think, is like almost laughs all the way through.
It's a ride a minute. That torture porn flick. It's laughs out loud.
You know, get an
just
hour
like
and
sexy,
in,
and then
boy,
it's scary,
it
and then it's
weird.
funny.
Yeah, and then it's just a laugh riot.
Hostel has everything.
Do you need family fun entertainment for the whole family and friends? Hostel, baby.
Let me tell you about the Hostel.
It's a movie for everyone. Yeah.
Fun for the whole family. Texas Chainsaw Massacre at the beginning, even more fun for even more of the whole family. Bring your grandma, bring your uncle, bring your grandma's
bring your
friend.
stepmom.
Bring your grandma's uncle. Yeah.
Movie sucks so much ass, dude. This movie sucks so fucking bad, dude. Like, what? Like,
what do you want to talk about when they run into the cow and they all fly out of the car? I mean,
oh my god,
dude,
how did we not? Oh, it's so funny.
I forgot about that.
I told you, this movie is very funny.
Holy shit. That cow exploded.
There was no cow left.
No, you're not gonna get a ribeye out of that thing. It's gone.
Or the scene where Detective Hoyt shoots the biker chick and she flies like a Dragon Ball Z character.
Dude, that's what shotguns do in Texas. Everything's bigger in Texas.
She's just gone. She is just gone. There is a perfectly cylindrical hole in the center of her chest.
Yeah.
like a Looney Tune.
Yeah, like
This
that
movie's
scene in
Looney
Kung
Tunes.
Pao enters
The
the fist.
gore. Oh my god.
Yeah. Oh my God, Kung Pao. Wow,
Yeah.
what a good movie.
With bones and organs and oh man,
I
yeah.
forgot about that cow scene.
the-
Oh, it's so good.
It's incredible. Yeah.
but the question is, right?
Yeah.
Is this movie meant to be funny?
I-
The answer's
I-
gotta be no. It's gotta be no.
I don't know.
No, because there's
no.
there's
I don't-
enough.
I
Yeah,
don't
there's enough
know.
like really like trying to be like tragic scenes there. Like they would never
Yeah.
have the boyfriend being like like oh is my hand gone? Is it like they would never do that. They would never do that in a movie they're trying to like get like you to be like getting gross laughs out of, right? Like
I don't know, because I think that I think that their horror comedy has kind of gone through a lot of waves, and I don't think that this movie is a full on right horror comedy, but I do think that most horror movies at that time they had like odd funny moments to them. I mean, think about like the Dawn of the Dead remake, right? Like that's like definitely not a comedy, but it's very funny several times.
yeah.
And I think that, so I mean, I don't know. I think that it
But
might
no,
be funny on purpose.
think
Like, at least a couple
that,
times.
I think that's different. I think the Dawn of the Dead remake the funny bits are very much intentional, and the parts that we're
Well, of
laughing
course,
at,
it's Zack Snyder,
Yeah,
James
exactly.
Gunn. Like, I mean,
Those are
movie was
very
full of intention.
that those movies are. That's a very different directed movie. This I feel like the parts that we're laughing at are the parts where it's so fucking over the top, but I don't think it's ever intended to be so far, because I think they're just trying to fucking gross you out all the time. Like this is a gross out movie, and it doesn't succeed in that, but it does. But like in hindsight, you do laugh at it. It might have succeeded at it in 2006 or whatever for some people, especially like teenagers, right? Because you like, but like this movie just. Was there ever a moment in this movie that you were fully grossed out?
I mean, the meatpacking stuff in the beginning is pretty gross.
What
Her
when he...
birthing him is pretty gross.
Yeah,
That's fair.
It's gross because it should, because it's not gross because of like of the actual grossness of it. It's just like this is just like this shouldn't. Nobody should have greenlit this. That's why it's gross. Like a woman having a dying and birthing while like on a meat packing floor. It's like I don't like that. I
don't either.
Yeah,
It's gross.
This is making me uncomfortable. But not like gross out in the way that like it's a different type of gross out. I'm talking about like the gore, the visceralness of it is supposed to gross you out, and that's not what grossed me out about that.
Okay, yeah, well, I don't think of gore in that. I don't know that I ever think of gore in terms of like gross. I don't think that I ever really think gore and gross out in this. I mean, there's definitely a line there, like you can cross it, but I most times I don't think that way when I'm seeing gore in films, just in general.
Okay, so what are you thinking of when you think of gore?
When I'm thinking of gore, just like gore, like I don't
Sick, dude.
Well, it's more so like I don't think of the gross, like I don't necessarily get the gross out feel from seeing gore in films. Like that's not where that doesn't really like. I don't feel that. Like to me, gross out like is more to do like okay, a good example of gore and gross out, the Human Centipede 2. These when they birth a child and then crush its head. That's disgusting.
Oh, that's
like,
fucked up. That's
yeah, exactly.
It's very much yes, and
that is where like to me gore kind of ends up. That's the like kind of line I'm talking about. But like
things
this
that they
film,
shouldn't do in movies anymore. Yeah,
this film to me never even comes close to that, except those beginning scenes of the birth being just gross and awful and violent.
Yeah, but this movie is very clearly trying to be a gross out film. Like
I don't think so at all. It's a
Corbin
gore fest.
Corbin, break the tie.
I think that there's like one scene that's gross, but I think that otherwise this is it. I think that the gore in this movie is very typical for slashers of the time. I don't think it was like full on like gross gore.
Yes, because we're in a post Saw world where but
Right.
that's like but that was like the whole point of like the Saw movies is like the gore, like you're supposed to wince at the gore, and did you like? There's not a wincing
Yeah, but
scene, and that's
I
what I
don't
mean when
think
gross
that.
out. It's a wince moment. It's like, oh fuck.
Yeah, no, I
And
I
like,
know what you mean, but I don't think that this movie is maybe that one scene where they show the guy's hand, which is not even for long enough, even I think to go for it.
no, I
Like
agree.
a big part of what makes gore wince worthy or gross out is staying with the moment, right? Elongated pain is what works.
Oh
And I
yeah,
think that's why I saw in Hostel, like that's why those movies get there, and that's why movies that are those movies like Peers proper try to get there, right?
Yeah.
And like I don't think that this movie is any grosser than like Rob Zombie's Halloween, for example. Like I wouldn't say that either of those were like gross out movies. I think that
but
they're just
but
slashers
but that's
with an
my
era
point.
appropriate level of gore. Like
But
that's
that
just how it was.
but that's my point. Is both those movies are trying to do that to a certain extent, and the fact that they don't,
I don't
the
think
fact that
so.
they fail.
I don't think so. I think that they are just taking elements of the style of the time, but I don't think that either of them are trying to make you go like, ooh, ew, I can't believe Michael Myers did that. Like, I don't think that they're. I don't think so. I just disagree. Yeah.
No, it's okay.
Bobby, I
Yeah.
came up with one that is gross and very gory for me.
What's that?
Possessor.
Oh, such a
Yeah,
good movie.
Possessor is kind of a gross movie.
Yeah.
The gore in that film, while not necessarily crazier than anything else in the genre, is just so much harder to watch.
It's fucked. It's an
Oh, yeah.
incredibly fucked
Much better
movie,
film
and
than
it's
this.
also
Phenomenal
beautiful.
film.
Yeah. We're
like
We're
Well,
going
I mean,
from, like-
what's the comparison there? Like,
my point was just like I was sitting here trying to rack my
Yeah.
brain of like what's a good example of
what's the
gross out
comparison?
gore?
It's like smelling garbage and then smelling a wonderful rose. Like they're both technically smells, right?
Bobby, if you
Jesus.
were gonna rate this film
Yes.
on a scale of 0 to 5
I
based on
wonder.
its smell,
Uh-huh.
with half smells allowed, how would you rate this bad boy?
I think if I were to rate this with half points with half smells allowed, I think I would actually probably rate this a 1.5 out of 5. There were parts of this. I did not like this movie. I don't think that's a shocker. There are parts of this movie that are very glaring issues with me. Also, this era of horror is not my favorite era of horror. It's actually probably my least favorite. The early aughts era of horror is probably my least favorite genre of horror. It was at a time in my life where I was not watching a lot of horror movies, both because I was scared and two because, again, I do not like excessive for excessive sake, and a lot of this is excessive for excessive sake. But this movie does a lot of things that I like about bad movies. Is it's unintentionally hilarious. So if you want to watch an unintentional hilarious gore fest, watch the Texas Chainsaw Massacre at the beginning. But that's about it for me. Yeah.
Corbin.
Yeah. So I had to go back and look. I gave Texas Chainsaw 2003 a 1.5 out of 5. A score that is probably deserved. It was I think a movie that tried to do all the right things and failed at basically all of them. But that we gave points to for trying, and that looked quite good while it tried. This is a movie that I think is similar to the first one. I think that this movie did kind of know what it wanted to be, and it just did that. Except this one never wanted to be like good. Like I don't think it like tried to be like an amazing movie. Like it just was what it was, and it kind of took most of the things I liked about the first movie and amped them up. And unlike Bobby, this is one of my favorite eras of horror for kind of all the exact opposite reasons. I was like really growing into horror at this time, and I do like movies that are excessive for just no reason. And I think it's all going to kind of balance out a little bit in favor of this one, and I'm going to give this a 2 out of 5. It's still not very good, and I couldn't possibly say that it was good or even average, but I did like it more than the last one. And it's probably about the same quality-wise, so I give it the half point.
this was an easy score for me on this one.
Yeah.
I think I gave the previous one a 1. Is that right?
Okay.
I think. I don't know. Something like
I don't
that.
have the sheet up yet.
I remember tearing into that film because it basically just didn't know what the fuck it wanted to be. It tried to be all coy and then be big and vibrant in your face, and it failed at those. This movie was just dumb. And I can respect that. It just was dumb. And you know what? I had a lot of fun. 11-year-old me, this is what he thought 2003 was. It's 100%. I was like, oh, this is scary. There's a big man. He's going to cut you up with a chainsaw. And while that didn't happen in 03, it happens in Texas Chainsaw Massacre at the beginning. For me, it was a 2 out of 5. Easy half point or so more. It is not a good movie. It's not an average movie. But man, if you want to have just some nonsense fun, that's what this film is. This film is just junk food for my brain. That's all it is.
It feels
and
bad
I love
that
that.
you both went with 2. I just like it. Just
It had to be. It can't be
felt
a
like a
2 and a
good
half.
2.
It can't
felt
be
like
a
a good
2 and a
2.
half. Yeah.
No. Listen. I gave it a 1.5 because this is just even good into this before we get into the spoiler-free stuff. It felt like they were both on equal footing for different reasons. Because like 2003 wanted to try to be like the spiritual successor or be the successor to the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre and just failed, but went for it. And this movie is like, fuck you, we're gonna be stupid. And it's just like, and you were. Congratulations, you did it. Like that. So like they
Look,
both.
They saw the assignment was be dumb,
Yeah.
and they said, okay, cool, we can do that.
It's like one guy pole vaults to try to get over the wall and still runs into his face, and the other guy just runs straight into the wall. They both ran straight into a wall. They just did it different ways.
But one's a lot funnier.
But that's not
So-
all we do here on the. Oh,
Sorry, I just because we're talking about the scores, I just
Yeah.
wanted to cut in really quick. I pulled it up because I wanted to see what Alan's score was for Texas Chainsaw Massacre 1. Unfortunately, we do not have that data currently. But I wanted to then go and see because I was thinking like what in my mind what is a 2, right? Like if this is a 2, like what else was a 2? So I was like, let's see what else we got here. And I've only given a 2 4 times, including this movie. This is my like least given score. Apparently, is a 2 out of 5. And the other 3 movies I gave to were The Forever Purge, Urban Legend, and VHS 99. And I think this movie sits right there. I feel comfortable about this.
no, you know what? That's a fair place to put it. To be completely honest, yeah. Thinking about the Forever Purge right now. Yep.
I also gave the Forever Purge a 2.
What a movie that was.
Quality
Oh,
flick,
man.
that Forever Purge. But hey, that's not
Anyway.
all we do on this podcast. We also decide whether or not the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the beginning, is essential to horror as a whole. Going in, making Alan go first order. Alan, is this movie essential?
Why you gotta ask me a stupid fucking question like that, Bobby? Of course this movie is not essential. Are you kidding me? There is nothing this movie does that I think could even remotely put it into that category. Is this movie dumb? Did I have a lot of fun watching it? 100%. Absolutely. But does it matter on the scales? It's a sequel prequel. You gotta, to even make that work by itself, to then get you into that essential category, that's like, you gotta move some mountains to make that shit work. It's dumb fun, but it's not essential.
No, of course not. Of course not. I'm going next. Of course it's not essential. Of course not. Of course not.
Bobby's whole thesis statement, no.
No.
I love,
Of course it is. It's a bad movie. It's a bad movie. It's not good. It's like you forgot it existed. You thought this movie was Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2003. I'm telling you, that's like you're gonna be like you're gonna watch 2003 and be like, huh? Where's the part where where the lady gets shot with the gun, and you're gonna be, and then you're gonna go, oh wait, that's the sequel, and then you're gonna forget everything, and then you're gonna be like, where's the part where like you just get these 2 movies mixed up in your mind because they're somewhere in this there is a good these 2 movies there is a good movie, But this movie doesn't even have the audacity to be the first of its kind, so of course it's not essential. It's bad. It's bad. Corinne?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know what to add here. It's not essential in any way. Like it's not super unique. It doesn't break ground in any way. Like I think it's good fun, but that doesn't mean it's essential. It's just fun, and that's all it needs to be.
I feel like this is a great, it's on in the background of a Halloween party kind of movie. Like, it's just
Yeah,
happening in the
I
background.
agree with that.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah,
And you're
for
like,
sure.
oh, there's a cool scene where a dude gets chopped in half with a chainsaw. That's fun.
Essential background video.
Oh,
This is an essential background movie for sure.
100%. Absolutely. This is an essential, definitely an essential. I'll scroll through Twitter the whole time I'm rewatching this and go, that was fun kind of movie.
You count as having watched it. You know, you didn't pay attention at all.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I looked up twice.
Oh, yeah. He's throwing the guy with the chainsaw through him. That's cool.
Cool.
Your eyes are on the screen for 6 out of 90 minutes.
Oh shit! It's the end. Oh, that's right. She dies.
Yeah, I guess I'll let the credits go.
Yeah.
I'll respect the movie enough to watch the full credit sequence.
Oh yeah,
Hated it. I'll watch it.
I always watch the full credit sequence, but that's not the only thing I do. What have we all been up to? Oh yeah, I don't know. What have we been up to? Where can we find everybody? I'm just gonna go first. I have been up to kind of a lot, but kind of not. So we've been gone for a little while. We took 3 weeks off for the holidays, and in that time, I spent my time with the holidays and being sick like 2 or 3 separate times, which was awesome. So
He said sarcastically in this audio medium that you could not see his sarcastic face.
when I wasn't sick, I've been building and painting Warhammer. We are back on our Destiny raid schedule, so I've been doing that, and I have also started playing Gundam Evolution, which is now on Xbox Game Pass, and it is a real good time. That's what I'll say about that movie.
Isn't it just Dynasty Warriors but Gundam?
No.
It's not at all. It is a 5 or 6v6 FPS.
It's Overwatch, but Gundam.
Yeah,
Oh,
it is
okay.
basically Overwatch. Yeah. Except there's everybody's DPS. It's Overwatch, but it's all DPS.
Okay, so it's Overwatch but good.
It's very fun. Yeah. I recommend it. But you can find me anywhere at Corbangarang, and by anywhere I mean exclusively Twitter. And you can also find me on Twitter and Mastodon at Bolters_Bourbon, talking about Warhammer. And that's me.
You can find me at twitch.tv/theredweenie. All my relevant socials are there. You can also watch us play Destiny and stuff like that. Other than that, yeah, same stuff. Life, mostly, when it comes to what I've been up to. I've been chilling out, Warhammer stuff, all that good stuff. I'm doing dry January this month. So
January is
Godspeed.
Yeah. And so I already feel stronger than both of my co-hosts combined. Soon my power of sobriety will eclipse the sun. And
so what happens in February? Our power stays consistent, and yours tanks.
Just in time for me to sink to the depths. But it's been good. Life's been fun. Twitch.tv/theredweenie. I stream at least once a week for the foreseeable future, but maybe more. We'll find out.
Could be cool.
You can find me at a seal punter just about anywhere. I haven't done a whole lot. I've been playing. I picked up Elden Ring on PC because I just can't not play that game. I don't know what to tell you. It's great. It's phenomenal. I love it. A lot of Warhammer, a lot of Warhammer, because those battle forces got me bad. They got me real bad. I also found the Dominion box set. Yeah, I know. It was yeah. Them Chainbreaker lances, man. How do you pass that up? And I
great box.
couldn't. But
they're big robots.
They are big robots.
They are
huh?
big robots.
They're going to take a lot. I also the other big Warhammer update is I finally started painting my army, and I found out that's very hard, and I'm very bad at it. But I think I like it. I'm not sure, but I think I enjoy my time doing it.
Yeah, you
Uh,
like it. If you didn't like it, you'd know.
Okay, that's fair. I am going to be painting my next army in a completely different paint style. So that's going to be, I think it'll be good just to see how that experience is compared to how I did it with the speed paint. So that's about it. A seal punter, just about anywhere.
Nice. And you can also find the podcast at Essential Scares on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We would love it if you give us a follow, hit us up, tell us what kind of movies you're interested in us covering in the future, and show some love. You can also find a link to our Discord in the bio for all of those socials. We're on Discord every single day, talking about movies, music, games, all sorts of stuff. We're always taking suggestions for future franchises, which, hey, you might have noticed, this week ends. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake duology. We're going into something that is better. A favorite of Bobby's, the Ghoulies quadrilogy. That's right. It's a month of Ghoulies fun coming right at you.
Yeah,
Starting next week.
Yeah.
I'm not looking forward to the next month.
Catch up on your Ghoulies deep lore, and see us next week. Thank you to everybody for watching and listening. Give us a like, rate, subscribe. You know the deal. And thank you to Alan and Bobby for being on the show with me this week. It's good to be back. I have been Corbin, and this has been Essential Scares.
New year, new breakdown, baby.